Hey, have you ever wondered how brands stalk you all over the internet and keep giving you ads no matter what you think that you did or did not opt in for? I'm going to demystify that to you today as someone who has been on the inside of marketing for a very long time and show you exactly what's in that cookie. And show you exactly why it happens from a consumer standpoint, why you get targeted over and over and over again, no matter where you go on your social platform, by the same brands. And I'm going to show you, business owners, how to take advantage of this if you are not. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is that the cookie is the biggest reason why this happens. So third-party cookies, you hear a lot about them being dead lately. They're actually not. They're still alive and well. These algorithms have found a way to start utilizing them. But what is a cookie, basically? Because you see it all the time. Accept all cookies. Sure, yes, no. What does that mean? In the case of a third-party cookie, it means that it's a little piece of code that goes onto your website and sends the information about who's visiting it to a platform like, let's say, Meta. Right? So it can go to Facebook and Instagram, or TikTok. So it can go to TikTok. So it's a little piece of code, and that code is key to everything. So if you've ever gone to buy a dress on Fashion Nova, and then you've gone over to Instagram a second later, and you've been like, how did they see everything I do? It's because of the pixel or the cookie. And we often call that the pixel or the tag. So if you're in marketing, it's called a pixel or a tag. It's a little piece of HTML code that goes in the footer that says, hey, I know who you are. Let me gather your data. And then I'm going to send it over to my boss, which is Facebook, which is Instagram, which is TikTok, which is Pinterest, which is Google, which is YouTube. Right? That's how it works. And since we have that data, it's extremely easy for marketers then to create audiences out of people that have done it. So they can say, hey, I want to show this ad to everybody who's been to my website in the last 30 days. Yeah, let's do that. And so that's what they'll do. They'll send that over. And hey, you're going to start seeing those Fashion Nova ads because you went there. Whether you went there a minute ago or you went there 28 days ago, there's a good chance you're going to see that ad the next time you go to your feed. Everything is tracked. These days, a lot of browsers are building in cookie blockage from the beginning. For example, if you use Safari and boot it up by default now, Safari will block that kind of stuff. But stuff still always squeaks through. I'm not going to pretend to be a huge computer API expert when it comes to these types of things, but things are still squeaking through. If you're not 100% sure how to actually leverage this for your business, you got to figure this out because this is a hugely important way to advertise. It's called retargeting, and it's when you take the data that the pixel here, the cookie or the pixel, has actually gathered, and you turn that data into an audience. So the cookie or the pixel or the tag, whatever you call it, is put into the header of your website, little piece of code. It gathers that information, and once it's activated on there, and you can get a Chrome extension for this for almost every major ad platform. Google has one, Meta has one, Pinterest has one, TikTok has one. It's a Chrome extension that tells you if the pixel is installed and what the number of the pixel is. Google calls it a tag, Meta calls it a pixel, whatever. So the first step is getting that on there. Even if you're not advertising, you've got to make sure to get this thing on your site ASAP because it's always going to be gathering this data and you don't want to lose that data. I'll go into more about how pixels work to optimize your ad accounts in a different video because it's a lot more complicated than all of this. But specifically when we're talking about retargeting, or following people around the internet to show them more ads of your stuff that they showed they were interested in a little bit once upon a time. This is what you need to do. So you got to get that up ASAP. If you've never run ads before and you don't think that you ever will, you should still get in there and do it. You don't need a developer to do it. Just get in there. If you have a Shopify store, it's an easy integration. If you have a WordPress, you can download Pixel My Site and just easily put it in there through that plugin. There's just very, very easy to get that stuff going. And then to actually engage in retargeting, you have to create an audience. So in all of these ad platforms on the back end, you need to create an audience. So you create an audience of these humans. And most of the ad platforms give you a way to do this based on certain time periods. So you can say, hey, give me everyone that's visited my site in the last 30 days. And then it will do that. It will just gather all those people, match them with Facebook, Instagram profiles, or TikTok profiles, or Pinterest profiles, or whatever. And then it will serve out those ads to those people. It's going to be missing some people, obviously, because if they have cookies blocked for that piece, then it's not going to happen. But for the most part, you're still getting a lot of these people coming through. And you'll find that these retargeting ads can be quite a lot cheaper than ads to a cold audience who has shown no interest in your brand, because obviously you have a bit more selling to do with those people. Makes sense, right? Now that's just one little piece of it, because the other piece of how this pixel works as an internal structure within Google and Meta and all these platforms, it also gathers the activity that you take part in on their platform. So let's say that you watch a video, or you click an ad, or you engage with a post, like you like it, or you save it, or something like that. That being the case, that is recorded. And it's much easier to record, obviously, because it doesn't have anything to do with cookies installed on websites. It's just, I'm on Instagram, I like a post, Instagram knows that I liked the post. And if that person wants to retarget me, they can do that, because that's what I've opted into in the terms of service. Unknowingly, but knowingly, but unknowingly. And this can be also a very powerful way to do things, because take, for example, Meta, you can take people that have watched a video to a certain length. So let's say, hey, everybody that's watched at least half of this video, let's show them a specific ad, because we know that they got to this point in the video. And that must mean that they know about XYZ that we talked about, which allows us to give them a perfect message for that perfect time. There you go. It's really, really powerful stuff. You do the same thing with everybody that's engaged with your Instagram content, everybody that's engaged with TikTok stuff. You can retarget all of these people. So if you just give some thought as a marketer, business owner, whatever, to, hey, what kinds of valuable actions can I get people to take or have people taken on my content or on my advertising or videos or anything that I've already done? And then how can I show them a message that's just perfect for those people, so I can really meet them where they are, almost like we're having a second date instead of always reintroducing ourselves and what we stand for and what we want them to buy. That's really powerful. It creates better relationships, because we often think about this idea of, hey, how do people track you all over the internet as a negative thing. It's actually not a negative thing for business owners, and not really always for consumers either, because consumers want to see relevant ads. I don't want to see ads for bras and stuff, you know, like I want to see ads for stuff that I might want to buy, or no ads at all. Whereas from the business perspective, of course you want to do this. I mean, it's cheaper to retarget people than it is to target people that are in the cold audience, because for obvious reasons, you just don't have to do as much selling. You don't have to do as much relationship building. So hopefully you understand a little bit better how brands track you all over the internet and show you ads, both from a consumer perspective, like, hey, why is this brand always showing up my Instagram feed, to, hey, how do I do more of that retargeting stuff? Because that's amazing. And there's much more that's involved in this, for sure. There's a ton involved in this. You can retarget people based on your email list. You can leverage your first-party data and turn it into advertising, retargeting audiences. But for the basics, this covers it. And I would highly recommend that if you're not at least doing the basics of this, getting that cookie up on your site, you're definitely a little bit behind. So definitely get that up there so that you can start saving some money and getting some really good customers in the door. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.